Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. We'll be spending the next hour and a half together. For those of you who are new, we alternate from week to week, and this week we alternate back to our breathing exercise, abdominal breathing. And about 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on YouTube, Facebook, and so forth at was a monk, a young monk from Germany, actually, of Vietnamese parents, and he talks about the important things that we need to do to um, um, to have a good health as we age. And one of the things that he talks about is to practice Tai Chi or yoga. And what he's saying is that you basically need to practice abdominal breathing. It turns out that that is a key. Now, unfortunately, the yoga exercise that we typically do in the United States and in the West is limited only to essentially stretching, right? What we call the asana. And whereas the original yogic practice consists of what is called the eight branches of yoga. In addition to the physical part, the asana, there's also the breathing part called the pranayama. And finally, is the meditative part. And so we'll try to do all three here. And so we're going to get ready for this breathing exercise, which is very similar to Tai Chi. So it requires movement and especially the joints. And so that would start with the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and then they're equivalent in the lower part of the body, which would be the heel, the knee, and the hip. And so we're going to start doing some joint exercise, but keep in mind that the hour and a half that we spend together is meditation. It's completely meditation. It's just that there's the moving part and then also the stationary part. And so what I call mindfulness in motion is when we walk and when we exercise. So when we do the joint exercise, it's also a meditative practice. We need to train our mind as well as our body. So let's start with the body and let's focus on the lower part of our spine. Let's walk up the spine as we walk towards the top of the head. Let's stretch the spine, stretch, 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 stretch. Then we're going to lift up the shoulder, and then we're going to open the shoulder while we're leaning back. We're going to relax the shoulder and then also relax the spine. This is the proper posture. Now we're going to focus on the center of a hand. Let's bring our hands up. Now, when we say yoga, the North Indian word is yuja, which means union, body and mind together, right? So we're going to anchor our mind now on our wrists. Then we're going to rotate our wrists one turn at a time. As we rotate our wrists, we want to be sure that our mind is actually anchored on the wrist. And we start to examine the change in the wrist, see if there's any heat, any sweat, any numbness, tightness in the wrist. This is part of the meditative practice, is that we start with examining, being aware of a body, ultimately being aware of our emotion. And now we're going to turn it the other way and make sure that you're anchoring your mind on your wrist. And our mind doesn't like to do that. We have this mind that we call the monkey mind. It likes to be free, free of any kind of um, maintenance and management. So this is the new things that we have to do. Keep training our mind, keep checking to see if our mind is somewhere else. And if it is, bring it back to our body. Bring it back to the wrist and continue to examine the change in the wrist. Okay, now we're going to lower our hands, but make sure that you lower your hand the same way you brought it up, which is to anchor your mind on the center of the palm. Now we come back to the body, we stretch the spine, we lift up the shoulder, we lean back, we open the shoulder, we relax. We're moving from the wrist to the elbow, same thing. Anchor your mind on the center of your palm, bring it up, all the way up. And now anchor your mind on your elbow. Turn it one turn at a time. Now Every time you turn, you remind yourself that everything that we do in life, there's a beginning and the end, a beginning and the end, a birth and then the opposite of birth. But the opposite of birth is actually a rebirth. So every time we complete the turn, we remind ourselves that there's a new beginning waiting for us. And in the beginning of each turn, we check the mind, make sure our mind is anchored on our elbow. And then at the finish, at the end of the mind, we ask ourselves to do it one more time. That's what we call diligence. So in fact, we're practicing the three components of the foundation of mindfulness. Now we're going to turn it the other way. The first component is what I call faith. It's actually the same word for confidence. Faith is that you have faith that there is positive energies in the world in spite of the chaos. Confidence is after you have that faith, after you do your practice, you develop some confidence in yourself that you can overcome those chaos. Now we're going to bring the hands down. Once again, back to our spine, stretch, lift up our shoulder, lean back, open the shoulder, relax. We're going from the elbow to the shoulder, from the wrist to the elbow, now to the shoulder. Let's out once again, anchor our mind on the center of palm. We cross our hand this time. We bring it up in front of us, slowly, on top of us. And then now we're going to stretch your spine towards the ceiling. Stretch it as hard as you can. And before you come down, you anchor your mind on the center of your palm. You turn your palm outward. You open your shoulder. You feel the pain on your shoulder. And then you let go of the pain by anchoring your mind again, once again, on the center of the palm. Let go of the pain. And then now stretch as hard as you can. Turn the palm outward, 90-degree on the wrist. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. Maintain that anchoring. Maintain that calmness by anchoring your mind on the center of your palm. Stretch. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder one more time. Bring your hands up. Follow the center of your palm, anchoring your mind on the hand. Stretch. And then when you feel that pain, you feel it, you accept it, and then you let it go. Now we're going to turn the other way. Open the shoulder first. Stretch. Bring it back down. Open the shoulder first. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Open that shoulder first. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Now we're going to go from front to back. And back to the spine, stretch the spine, lift up the shoulder, lean back the spine, relax the shoulder, relax the spine. Focus on the center of your hand, bring it up in front of you, slowly following the center of your palm, bring it on top of you. And then now very slowly open that shoulder, feel the pain on your shoulder, let go of the pain, back to the center of your palm, let it go. The pain is already gone. Just let it go. Open the shoulder, feel the pain, let go of the pain, come back. Don't let the pain metastasize into suffering. You let it go. You let it go, meaning that you anchor your mind back to on your body. Don't let that monkey mind happens. When that monkey mind happens, that's where the pain becomes suffering. Feel the pain, let go of the pain, come back to the center palm one more time. Open the shoulder, feel the pain, let go of the pain. Sit up straight. We're going to go from back to front, all the way back. Let's bring it up, stretch, bring it back down, all the way to the back. Bring it up, stretch, bring it back down. Follow the center of your palm. We do meditation. We're actually doing mindfulness in motion. All the way back one more time. Stretch, and then bring it back down, but make sure the mind is at the center of your palm as you bring down your hand. We're going to back to the spine, stretch the spine, lift up the shoulder, lean back, open the shoulder, relax. Let's check the forehead. Let's lean back the forehead so the ears on top of the shoulder. And then we're going to tuck in the chin slightly so the top of the head is actually on top of the spine. This proper posture is called the pillar supporting the sky. The pillar is your spine. It's actually all the way from the bottom of the spine all to the top of the head. Now we are going now we're back to we're in the stationary form, which means that we're sitting. The other two stationary form is when we're standing and when we're lying down. And this is a new habit you have to develop. Always anchor your mind. When you're moving, whether you're walking or exercising, you anchor your mind on your body. That is true, even if you're doing yoga exercise. Learn to anchor your mind on your body as you do your yoga exercise. That is true if you're working in the kitchen or whatever things that you're doing. You're walking in Costco, whatever. Focus it on the center of the bottom of your feet as you walk. Focus on your fingers as you make your breakfast. But when you're stationary, then you anchor your mind on your breath. It's very clear. You move, anchor it on your body. You don't move, you anchor it on your breath. So now we are trying to anchor our mind on the breath, but we start by just knowing. I know that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. One breath at a time. When you breathe in, that's the beginning. And then when you finish or you breathe out, that's the completion of one cycle. The end of one cycle means the rebirth of another one. Again, you breathe in and you breathe out. Life and death is the same way. When you're born, you take a deep breath in. When you pass away, when you're leaving this world, leaving this physical body, it's the out breath. No more, no less. So your life cycle is in fact break down into hundreds and hundreds and millions of breath. So if you understand your breathing, you will start to understand life itself. I know I'm breathing in. I feel the life in me. I know I'm breathing out. I accept that. I feel it and I accept it. One breath at a time. Okay. All right. So we'll continue. We got three more exercises we need to do before we do meditation, before we do sitting down meditation. So the first one is called the double blade, is using the left hand and the right hand separately. This is a very good way to practice the three steps of acceptance. Feel it, accept it, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. And we do that by using the left hand and the right hand separately because that allows us to use the left brain and the right brain separately. All right. So once again, back to the spine, stretch the spine, lift up the shoulder, lean back, open the shoulder, relax. Let's put the left hand in front. Let's stretch out the right hand. Now we're moving only the right hand, which means that we're only using the left brain. So let's anchor our mind on the center of our right hand. Let's bring it in front of us. Follow the center of your palm. And then open the shoulder. Bring it as far back as you can. Really, really feel that pain on your shoulder. Accept that pain. And then let it go. Let it go by now focusing on the left hand. We're leaving the left brain. We're now using the right brain. And once again, follow. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. Now anchor your mind on the other side. Anchor your mind now on your right palm using the other side, the other brain, using the left brain. Again, open, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Right side, feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, feel the pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain. Two more times. Feel the pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain. Sit up straight. One last time. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Now back to the stationary form, which means that we're back to the breath. Now, when you finish an exercise, even as mild as this one, the first thing you will notice is that your breath is much more rushed because your mind is not as calm when you do an energetic exercise. So, in order to calm yourself down, you need to calm your breathing down. This is how it works. This is how it works. You cannot really control your mind directly. You can only do it through the breath. So after you do energetic exercise, you come back to the breathing. You said to yourself, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Completely anchor your mind on your breath, and you notice that your breathing slows down, which means that you are actually calming yourself. And when you calm yourself, you stop releasing stress hormone, and you actually feel the inside of your mouth being a little bit more wet. And when you're under stress, your mouth is very dry. This is how our body has evolved. Is that when you're under stress, you're being chased by animals. So it turns off your digestive system, turns off your immune system. It does that by turning off your saliva gland. And then when you relax, you're back into the cave, you're with your family, you're underprotected. Now you're returning to a restorative state, and the first thing you will notice is that all of a sudden your saliva gland is reactivated. This is actually the best indication of your health, is to have saliva to self-hydrate. Okay, we talk a lot about drinking water. I don't have any problem with you drinking water, but it's more important that you have saliva, that you actually hydrate, self-hydrate. That's the that's the key to health. All right. All right. So now we're going to do one more energetic exercise, and this is called throwing the fist. All these three exercises actually Shaolin Qigong exercise. Okay. All right. So back to the stretch, straight to the spine. Stretch the spine. Lift up the shoulder. Lean back. Relax. You're going to bring up the right hand. Focus your mind on the center of your palm. Make a soft fist. Follow the fist. You ready? Go. One. Back using your left hand. Two. Feel the vibration. Sit up straight. Down. Sit up straight. Down. Up. Up. Down. Down. One more time. Up. Up. Down. Down. Two hands. Follow both hands. One. Two. Three. Four, and five. Once again, after you do an energetic exercise, come back, focus on your breath. Notice how rush is your breathing. So just say to yourself, I know I'm breathing in. I can feel the freshness of the air. I can feel the energies in my body. I know I'm breathing out. I feel the in breath and I accept the out breath. The same way that you should feel the birth and accept the death. It's just physical. It is just physical. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. And you notice that your breathing slows down. You're much more calm. And you feel the wetness inside your mouth, which means that you are entering the um, you're going from the fight or flight, which is the energetic state, back to the rest and digest. Almost all of our modern disease, I call it lifestyle disease, is because your body inflames. Your body inflames because you actually have too much stress hormone. Now, the stress hormone, one of the stress hormones called cortisol, it's a steroid. Its purpose is to reduce inflammation. That's how our body is designed, how our body evolves over hundreds of millions of years, is that when you're being chased by animal, when you're in danger, your body releases its own steroid to reduce inflammation. The problem is, in the last 60 years, or maybe a little bit more, for as long as I've been around, we now live a lifestyle that is beyond our evolutions, which means that we're under stress 24/7. Even when we sleep, we don't quite know how to go from fight or flight to rest and digest. So that we have too much hormone in the body, we have too much cortisol in the body, and we develop what is called cortisol resistance. It is as if someone pressed the bell, the doorbell. They press it once, you go down, you try to see, figure out who it is. And if someone is playing a trick on you, just the way that I used to do when I was a little kid with my brother, we would go around the neighborhood and keep pressing the bell. And after 3 or 4 times, they ignore us. End of fun, right? And your body ignores its own cure, ignores its own steroid. And that's how it develops inflammation. We call that chronic inflammation. And that's the reason for all the illnesses, going from as simple as a um, gout, that's inflammation, arthritis, diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, all of that. You name it, it's all inflammation. It's all about your body losing its ability to self heal. And that's why the monk says, of all the things that you need to do, you need to exercise, you need to have good night's sleep, you need to develop lower body strength, and finally, you need to learn to do abdominal breathing. That is the key to restore that harmony between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nerve. We'll do that, okay? All right, so now after we do another exercise, energetic exercise, we're gonna come back to the last exercise, which is very restorative before we do a sitting meditation. Back to our spine, stretch, lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, lean back, relax. We always do that. We always do that because it is actually the, um, the least stressful way of sitting because you're putting your weight on your spine, not using your back muscle. You're leaning back so that you're putting the weight on the head on your spine and not using your neck muscle. This is actually the best way to sit. It's the least stressful way to sit. So after you do that, you check your shoulder, you open it one more time, you relax. Now this exercise actually energize our vagus nerve, which is a big part of our parasympathetic, a big part of our fight or flight. So this is a good way to really activate this. Did I say fight or flight? I meant the rest and digest. Okay. So when you're under a lot of stress, this is the one you want to do. So you do that by first come back to the body, stretch, open, lean back, relax. Then you take your hand, you put your thumb in front of your shoulder, you roll up the four fingers. Now you do this exercise in four parts. The first part, you lift up your elbow, you lift up your shoulder, you stretch your upper torso towards the ceiling. You stretch until you bring your ears to you bring your shoulder to your ears. Then the second part is when you point the elbow back, you open your shoulder, you open it as far back as you can, as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. And then you lower your elbow, you relax, and then you point your elbow forward, you hunch, you look down, and then from here, you lift up your elbow, you lift up your upper torso, you're looking straight ahead at the camera, you close your eye, and then you open, you look at the ceiling slightly all the way back, and then looking straight ahead until you're looking down. Very simple. As you lift up, you close your mouth, you take a deep breath, very slow. You continue to breathe in until you open your shoulder. And then as you come down, you start to breathe out. You continue to breathe out until you're totally curled up in a ball. You breathe in, you breathe out. Relax, completely relax. You breathe in, lift up your body, open your shoulder, you breathe out. And you let all the air being squeezed out of your tummy, squeeze out of your lung. You breathe in, and you breathe out. You breathe in, And you breathe out. In and out. One more time, pointing your elbow forward. You breathe in and you breathe out. You lower your hand, you relax. Okay. And you focus on your breathing, one breath at a time. So, learning how to breathe your stomach is basically saying that learning how to breathe your diaphragm, right? The diaphragm is what separates your lung and your heart from everything else. Now, breathing with your diaphragm is actually what we did when we were inside the womb of our, inside the mother's womb. And actually, when we were born, it was the only muscle that was available to us because the rest of the body was not developed. We couldn't even walk, we couldn't sit, we couldn't even roll on the bed. The only thing we had was the diaphragm. And so, with the first breath, we start to use the diaphragm. So the problem with the diaphragm is that it's viscoelastic, which means that as we grow, we have some stress in us, right? Because we start to see danger. It's not, when we're inside our mother's womb, we didn't know danger. So there were no stress. And as soon as we felt that there were danger, we developed stress, and stress stiffen up the diaphragm, makes it much harder to breathe the diaphragm. So we start to use the rest of the body. We start to use the other muscle. And so these days, as we grow old, we don't actually know how to breathe the diaphragm anymore. It's a lost art. So, in all the spiritual practice, whether it is yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, or whatever it is that we do here, it's always coming back to the diaphragm. And so, when we sit and we meditate, we actually also exercise our breath. Okay. So, right now, we're actually exercising both our mind and our breath. So, this exercise, the first step of the exercise is actually exercising the stomach, exercising the diaphragm. But the Chinese actually believe that when you exercise the diaphragm, you're actually creating what they call qi. Now, qi has many different meanings. In this case, it can just means electricity because as you breathe with your diaphragm, you're massaging your intestines, which is good for your digestion because it's helps it move it around and um, helps with the fermentation that is being done in your small intestines, but it also generates some electricity. So the first step is what we call uh, mind, being mindful to cultivate qi. Now, it requires some attention to our sitting posture. And so, first of all, when we say we sit, we actually sit like the bell. And so the legs are your pedestal. So you make sure that when you sit like me, either you're completely touching the floor, the mat, so you're not lifting up using muscle, or you make sure that you put some pillows and blankets, or you just sit on a chair and just let your feet touch the floor. All right. The second one is the hand. So this is not the time to do hand gestures. Just relax. Put it on your knee, on your thigh, on your calf. Anyway, just relax. It's also important to come back and relax your fingers. Sometimes we say that we're relaxed, we're actually not. So you relax your fingers, relax your elbow. All right. So finally, we come to the spine. And so let's focus on the lower part of our spine. Now, when I say we sit like the bell, the legs are the pedestal, the spine is like the clapper inside your belt. So it needs to be hang on the ceiling. So you go from the lower part, you slowly walk up towards the top of the head. You stretch your spine as if you're hanging your spine on the ceiling. All right. Now we do one more thing here. This is optional. So after you stretch your spine, then you lean forward and then you lean back. As you lean back, you keep your hip in place and you feel that you're putting some stress on the lower back on the left and the right where the kidneys are. You lean back, and then you relax. But keeping the hip out forward So you're maintaining a little bit of pressure where the kidneys are. And then you lift up your shoulder, you open your shoulder, you relax. Now, you need to do that at least twice because when you say that you relax your shoulder, you're really not. We're using too much of the muscle here, right? And so you just really keep relaxing the shoulder. Then you lean back the forehead, ears on top of the shoulder, weight of the head on top of the spine. And then you just tuck in your chin slightly. So this energy points on top is on top of the spine. We call that one pillar supporting this guy. Then you come to your face, you relax your forehead, you relax in between your eyebrow, and then you relax your eyelid. You close your eye, but you relax your eyelid, just like the baby. So you see a little bit of light coming through your eyelashes, but don't pay attention to it, just relax. And then finally, you take the tip of the tongue, you put it behind here. There's an energy point right here between the bottom of your nose and the upper part of your lip, which happens to be where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. When you do that, you're activating your salivary gland, you entering into fight or flight. Now we're going to do the first exercise, which is paying attention to our stomach as we breathe. So first you focus on your breath. You start with knowing. I know I'm breathing in. I can feel that I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. I can feel that I'm breathing out. Now you go from knowing to anchoring, which means that you anchor your mind on your belly button. Now, to be precise, it's actually about one finger below the belly button. There's an energy point here called this, the, the, um, the sea of qi. The Chinese actually believe that whereas the belly button with the umbilical cord is where you receive the physical um, uh, uh, nutrient from your mom, the sea of chi is actually where you see the energy. So you focus on that. The belly button is fine. Just focus on somewhere. And then when you know that you're breathing in, let's relax the stomach as if you're taking the belly button and move it forward. And as soon as you know that you're breathing out, you tuck in your stomach, you bring in the belly button back, as if you're bringing this energy point all the way to the back of your spine. There's an energy point here called the, I forgot what it's called. Now, the Chinese actually believe that when you do that, you're exercising all four energy points, the one in front, the one in the back, and then the two where the kidneys are. All right. Now you have two kidneys, which means that one is yin and one is yang. The one in the front is yin, the one in the back is yang. So we're actually exercising all four energy points. So let's check that one more time. We rotate the hip forward, lean back up the torso, feel the stress on the lower back. We focus on the belly button. When we breathe in, we relax. We bring the belly button forward. When we breathe out, we close the stomach, tuck in your stomach, bringing the belly button back. Now you might say that that's too hard. I don't know how to do that. No, actually, the harder you try, the worse it gets. So you might as well just relax and wait until we do the fourth exercise to actually train yourself to do abdominal breathing, right? But if you have any kind of training, you can actually do it. But if you cannot do it, then just use your mind. Don't do anything physical. Just say forward, backward, forward, backward. Okay? All right, let's sit for 3 minutes, just practicing our awareness of our belly button. When we breathe in, forward. When we breathe out, backward. Okay. Now, this simple exercise of really learning how to breathe with your stomach using your diaphragm, going back to the way we were back in the days when we were inside the mother's womb, is by itself a very, very good exercise. There's tremendous health benefit. There's been a lot of study, and it basically discovered that as you breathe in, you lower your diaphragm, you actually enter into fight or flight, reducing stress hormone to reduce inflammation in your body. And then when you breathe out, you tuck in your stomach, lifting up the diaphragm, the body actually enters into the rest and digest, the parasympathetic. And that's where you restore the sensitivity to the steroid. And the combination of that releases your self healing power, and they can actually measure your heart rate. As you breathe in, heart rate goes up, you're entering into fight or flight. And when you breathe out, the heart rate goes down because you're rest and digest. And they find that those who practice abdominal breathing actually have a much more measurable HRV, heart rate variability. Those who do not, who are stuck on one or the other, tend not to have that number. And they correlate that number with inflammation in the brain. And so they actually discover that by doing that, they reduce the chance of dementia. Now, there's another great study just released by Harvard University, done with a Indian yogi with all his students, and they discover not only does it lower the chance of dementia, but it actually reverses the aging of the brain. So I highly recommend this exercise, and that's why we're going to spend a great deal of time on the floor learning how to do that. This is just a taste. Now, of course, we don't stop here. The Taoists actually have a much more this is just the entry point to a very elaborate longevity breathing exercise. So now I enter into the second part. The second part is using our chi to exercise the mind. And so this is the part where we let go of this belly button. We continue to sense the stomach as we breathe in. We notice that the stomach actually opens a little bit by itself. And when we breathe out, the stomach collapses a little bit by itself. It's just that we haven't been paying attention in the past. So now what we do is we come back to the body, we stretch your spine, we lift up our shoulder, we lean back and we relax. Now we anchor our mind on the lower back. As we breathe in, we rise from the lower back along the spine. We stretch your spine towards the ceiling until we get to the top of the head. And as we breathe out, we start at the bottom, the top of the head. We come down through the forehead to the bridge of our nose, through the tongue. That's why our tongue is connecting all the way to the belly button. And as we do that, we lean back and relax. When we breathe in, we feel the stomach opens. We stretch towards the ceiling. We go from the bottom of our spine towards the top of the head. And as we breathe out, we come back to the belly button, we lean back and relax. This not only activate our diaphragm, we activate the other important diaphragm, which is the one separating our left brain from the right brain. That cavity between the two brains is where we are providing some electric potential. So we're actually bringing the electrons in our intestines up our spine. As we stretch your spine, we actually lower the resistance, let the electricities go up to the top of the head, and then we let it come back, lean back and relax. Let's sit for 5 minutes, okay? Basically combining our breathing with our posture. We breathe in, we stretch, attention goes all the way to the top of the head. We breathe out, we lean back, relax, we come back to the belly button. We breathe in, starting at the lower back, go all the way to the top of the head. We breathe out, we come back to our belly button, we lean back and relax. All this time, if you can, rotate the hip forward so we put in some pressure on the two sides of the lower back. Okay. We're going to continue after we do the breathing exercise, okay? Because then after you do the breathing exercise, then you actually train your diaphragm and you will notice your breath much easier. So this is just a laying the foundation. We do that after we um, do the floor exercise. But in between, we're going to do some more stretching. And then I talk about the yogic practice, the three limbs of the yogic practice, and it's called yoga in the United States and in the West. But what we call yoga in the United States is only one part. It's only one of the eight. It focuses on the body, what we call asana, right? Asana is basically stretching. But the stretching exercise that they do in the North India is very similar to what they do with the Taoists, which is not stretching of the muscle, but stretching of the connective tissue, right? What the Chinese call the meridians. These are the energy lines in the body. Particularly, we're stretching what's called the yang, right? Those who are influenced by the sun. All right, the yang. Remember now, the yang is the energetic part, right? All right, so we're going to do some stretching now. And so the three pieces of the eight limbs of yoga, the stretching, what we call yoga in the United States, the breathing, which is what we call the pranayama, and then the meditation, all three, right? So now we're just going to do some stretching. So let's sit up straight, stretch your spine, lift up a shoulder, lean back, and then relax. So when I say stretching, we're stretching the connective tissue. The most important one is, of course, the diaphragm. So we're going to start with three deep breaths. So let's lock our fingers, palm facing up. Put that in the near the belly button. Now, as we breathe, we're going to anchor our mind on the center of your palm. You breathe in all the way to the nose, and then you flip your hand. You follow the hand, and you breathe out until you lock your elbow, and then you're looking straight ahead. You unlock your fingers, continue to lock your elbow, pointing the center of your palm outward, using your shoulder to climb the mountain. And then back, locking your fingers again, very relaxed. You cannot breathe your diaphragm if you're not relaxed. Remember now, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. Looking straight ahead, unlock the fingers, climb the mountain, right? Climb the mountain means that you're locking your elbow, you're using your shoulder. One last time, breathe in, breathe out. Looking straight ahead, climb the mountain. Okay, now locking your fingers again, palm facing up, palm facing down, stretch until you lock your elbow. Looking straight ahead, bring your palms in front of you. Bring your palm on top of you. Lean back slightly. Now we're going to stretch the spine. The spine is what we call the guardian vessel. This is where all the yang energy travels. So you stretch your spine, you push up as hard as you can. Then you lean back slightly. Be careful. Okay, don't lose balance. Come back. Now you push as hard as you can. Now you stretch your spine towards the left. You come back and you push and you to the right and you come back one more time. Stretch, push to the top, to the left, and come back. And you push to the top, and you come back to the right, and then come back to the center. Focus on the center of your palm, bring it back down, completely relaxed. Now, stretching the spine is very important because the spine is where the energy travels, especially the kidney energy. The essence of the kidney energy in Chinese way of thinking is the marrow. Is actually the source of your life. Is the marrow. Is what your blood cell is made of. It travels up your spine, and as we age, the spine get oxidized. And so to reverse oxidation requires some stretching because it's piezoelectric. It generates electricity. So I had two dogs here on occasion, and I had them for a little bit more than a week. They just left yesterday, and very obvious, they stretch their spine all the time. The cats does it too, right? This is how you reverse age: is to stretch your spine. All right, so let's continue. Stretch your spine by not just stretching it up, but stretching it left and right. Okay, so we sit up straight, we open the shoulder, lean back. We take a right hand, We put that on the left shoulder. We lean back, so we're putting stress on the right shoulder. We take a left hand, we grab the elbow, we sit up straight, and we stretch your spine towards the left. We come back, do it the other way, and we take the left hand and we stretch it to the right. And we back, relax. Notice your breath is very rushed. So we want to calm it down by saying to yourself, I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. All right. So in addition to the spine, there's also other energy lines. And so we're going to practice that too. So once again, sit up straight, open the shoulder, lean back. Let's bring our left hand up, palm facing up. Let's take our right hand, put that between our fingers and the palm. Let's bring down the left hand, push out the shoulder, the elbow, looking straight ahead. Use the elbow to bring your hands down, palm facing forward, all the way up to eye level. Now, without turning your body, let's take the left hand and bring it to the right, stretching the outside of the arm, and then bring it back, relax. Now to the right hand, sit up straight, palm facing up, bring it down, pushing out your elbow, looking straight ahead, elbow up. Sit up straight without turning your upper torso or turning your upper body. Bring your right hand to the left and bring it back and relax. Back to the breath. One breath at a time. It's always important to maintain that harmony between the yin and the yang. That's the key to your self-healing, is that you want the stress hormone to reduce the inflammation in your body, but you also want to restore the sensitivity by not releasing any stress hormone. Too much a good thing is not a good thing. All right, continue. Open the shoulder, lean back, relax. Right palm, left palm. Now, open your shoulder, wrist 90 degree. Now imagine the sky has fallen onto your palm. Your responsibility is to push it up, all the way up until you lock your elbow. Now imagine the earth just pops up and you push it back down until you lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degree. Now you take your right arm, you bring it back slightly, then you turn your head to the left, to the shoulder. Then you keep turning your eyes as if you're looking at your back. You bring back your eyes and then you relax. You go the other way, open the shoulder, push up the left hand, locking your wrist, elbow, and your wrist. You push down the right hand, locking your elbow, turning the wrist 90 degree. Then you bring your left hand back, turn your head to the right. You stop at the shoulder. You keep turning your eyes as if you're looking at your back. And you bring back your eyes, bring back your head, and then you relax. All right. Now, back to the spine again. Sit up straight, open your shoulder, lean back, relax. Lock your fingers. Put that on your lower back, palm facing up, palm facing down, and push down until you lock your elbow. Now, focus on top of your head and the center of your palm. Now, push down your palm, lift up your head, one up, one down. Stretch your spine, and then relax. Lean back your forehead so you're looking at the ceiling, 90 degree. Bring up your hand all the way up, and then relax. Back to the breath. One breath at a time. Once again, lift up a shoulder, open the shoulder, relax. Now put the palm of your right hand on your back, lean back the forehead, and then lift up your right shoulder, stretch your right shoulder. Okay, now the other hand, sit up straight, stretch your left shoulder. Okay, back to the breath. Open your shoulder, relax your shoulder. Right hand, the back of the hand at the lower back, two fingers pointing to left shoulder. Okay, now lower your right shoulder, lift up your fingers, and then relax. The other hand, sit up straight, lower your left shoulder, lift up your fingers. Now take two hands, touching the fingers, sit up straight, don't look down. Two shoulders, right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and then relax. The other hand, sit up straight, left shoulder up, right shoulder down, and then relax. Back to the breath. Very, very important to do the restoration after you do the energetic part. Maintain that balance. All right. Last exercise, we call that the reverse Buddha. Stretch, open, lean back, relax. Hands touching, palm touching, fingers pointing down. And then now, fingers pointing up, lift it up, palm touching, sit up straight, looking straight ahead. Open that shoulder, push the palm forward, one back, one forward. Maintain this posture. Anchor your mind on your breath. And then relax. Continue to anchor your mind on your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Calm your mind. Restore the sensitivity to the stress hormone. Maintain that harmony. Reactivate the self-healing. Okay, all right, let's go to the floor. We're going to continue with the joint exercise. Remember now, the breathing exercise that we do is very similar to the Tai Chi, which means that it's a movement. Movement requires all the joints. So not only the wrist, not only the elbow, not only the shoulder, but their equivalent, which are the heel, the knee, and the hip. Let's start with the heel, the knee. Okay. All right. Bend your knee and just very slowly, 1, 2. Continue to examine the change in your body. Focus on your knee. 3, 4, and 5. Now the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Okay, now to the heel. Right heel first. Lift up the heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the left. 1, focus on the heel. 2, is this a meditation? Just mindfulness in motion. 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So one of the exercises that the young monk mentioned is to make sure that you have lower body strength. And the reason that is important is because a lot of the energy actually comes from the lower part of the body. This part right here is actually called the second heart. All right. So this is important. And so this exercise is basically standing on your toes. It's one of the most important exercises. But it's also an exercise on balance, how to balance. And this prevents dementia. All right. Trust me. The first sign of dementia is not memory. The first sign of dementia is actually loss of balance. So balancing is very important. We'll continue to do more. So what you want to do is open that shoulder, lean back, looking straight ahead, and staring straight ahead. Okay. Don't let your mind wander. When your mind wander, that's where the fear comes in, and that's the reason why you lose balance. So maintain the focus on top of the head, looking straight ahead, and just stand on your toes. Now, don't even blink. And then when you come down, you impact the heel. Second time, just looking straight ahead, focus on top of your head, and come down. One last time, stand on your heel and come down, right? Many people complain about lower back. They think that it's the muscle or the spine. It's actually not. It's actually what we call the kidney deficiency, is kidney energy deficiency. And so this exercise actually will help, just this one, standing on your toes, help with your lower back because it restores that balance. Now we're going to continue to do more balancing exercise by first standing on your left foot, lift up your right foot, looking straight ahead now. Don't even blink. And then we're going to kick a right foot, come back, come back, come back. All right. So this not only exercise your body, it exercise your mind, maintain that balance, separating the left brain from the right brain. Balancing exercise is very, very important as we age. Get ready. 1, looking straight ahead. 2, come back to the eyes, come back to the top of the head. 3, all right? Okay, so finally to the hip. The hip is very important. It's just like the shoulder, but the hip is particularly important as you age because when you fall, it's the only thing that comes back. It's if your hip is not flexible, you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall like a sack of potato. All right, now we're gonna stand on the right foot. We bring back to the left foot. We have the straight line between the heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder. And we're going to turn on the straight line as far back as we can. Then we're going to move forward and then relax. Completely relax and then do it second time. Turn forward and then relax. One last time. Turn forward and then relax. Okay. Now we're going to do that on the right hip. Bring it to the right hip, form a straight line, turn, keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, and then forward, relax. Second time, turn, forward, and relax. All this time, anchor your mind on your body. Forward, and then relax. Okay? All right, so now we're ready to do the breathing exercise. It comes in 5 parts. Okay? The key to this exercise is number 1, always anchor on the center of your palm. Maintain, maintain that mindfulness. It's a meditation. Second part is that the exercise is actually on the breath, not on the body. The body just maintain that form. And so you don't stop the breathing in the middle of the exercise. You wait and you actually let the body stop before you stop your breathing. Well, I'll show you. Focus on your hand, bring it up, bring it towards yourself, and then bring it back down. Always anchor your mind. Breathe in, all the way in. Don't stop in the middle. And then breathe out. Very, very gently. Breathe in. And then breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Anchor your mind on the hand. All the way in. And then breathe out. Breathe in. Cross your hand. Now, this is the part where I said don't stop until your body. Okay, let the breath follow the body. Breathe out all the way out. Don't stop in the middle. And the reason for that is that you're opening up your chest and you still want to breathe out, which means that you need to lift up your diaphragm, right? You don't even have to do anything. The body will do that. Back, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And then just naturally breathe in, breathe out. One last time. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. All right. So put the focus on the breathing out part. Breathe out as much as you can. And then when you breathe in, just relax. Let the air comes in, right? Because when you breathe out, the diaphragm lift up, and then it's going to lower the front diaphragm will relax. So the breathing in part is very natural. If you try to use force on both parts, you will hyperventilate. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do 1 minute of standing meditation. We sit like the bell. We stand like the pine tree. So firmly grow some roots. Relax the rest of the body and then just focus on your breath. But you do that one breath at a time. There's a beginning and then there's an end. In the beginning is where you said to yourself, I'm going to follow this breath all the way. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. And when you finish, you said, I'm going to start again. And when you do that, that's called diligence, one breath at a time. Okay, this set of breathing exercise have tremendous health benefits. Basically, reduce inflammation in your body, release the self-healing. The next one is called balloon breathing. So this is when we lean back slightly, looking at the ceiling, 45-degree. We raise the toes on the right side. We bring up a hand. We follow the center of your palm, go forward, embrace yourself. You're looking at the floor, 45-degree. The left foot, the heel is up. We open back up. The toe is up. As we move forward, we breathe in very gently. As we lean back, we breathe out. We don't stop. We keep breathing out, emptying our stomach until we get to the very end. And then the in breath is very gentle. And it just breathe in by itself. And then we breathe out. In, out. Now try to keep your back straight and try not to hunch as you move forward. You're just going to rock your body forward and rock your body back. Using your body to help with your breathing. Breathe out, in, and out. Lower your hand, going from the center of your palm to the bottom of your feet. One step, two step, completely standing firmly on the ground, loosening up the rest of the body. Focus on your breath, one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. One breath at a time. Just like the way you used to put coins in the piggy bank. Once you put one coin, you let it go. You restart on the second coin. One coin at a time. One breath at a time. Completely anchor your mind on your breath. Keep checking your mind. Your mind was somewhere else. Okay, fine. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay, now to the left. Get ready. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax, okay? Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower your hand. Come back. Focus on your breath. One breath at a time. Okay. Now the third one is called butterfly. This one really combines everything. It combines the breathing exercise using your diaphragm. It combines balancing. It combines also with developing lower body strength by standing on your toes. Okay, a tremendous exercise. So first, we're going to stand with the shoulder opens, relax. Okay, now you might have to adjust the width of your toes a little bit. Okay, it's up to you. Now you follow the center of your palm, you bring it up, And then you bring it back down, lower your knee, lower your knee. And then you bring it back up. And then this time you raise your heel, you stand on your toe, you focus on the center of your palm until you get to the very top, back of the hand touching. As you come down, you gently breathe in. As you go up, you breathe out. You continue to breathe out until the hand stops. You breathe in very gently, and then you breathe out. Standing on your toes. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. Like the butterfly. In, out. It helps if you don't look down, okay? Look straight ahead. In, out. One more time. In, out. Now lower your hands, standing on the bottom of your feet. Focus on your breath. Continue to meditate, going from meditating while you're moving to meditating while you're standing. Okay, now the next one is called push hand. It looks just like a Tai Chi exercise, except that we call this no self Tai Chi. Let me explain in a minute. But first you stand, then you imagine that you have a water wheel in front of you. You bring the hand, you follow the center of your palm, you bring it to the top of the water wheel, and then you bring it all the way down by sitting on your left foot. Then you look straight ahead and you push through the center of the water wheel. As you bring up, you breathe in, you breathe all the way down, and then you breathe out. When you breathe in, you open your shoulder. When you breathe out, it's as if you push from the lower back all the way out. In, out. Now, why we call it no self? No self means no judging. Just sense the body, sense the breath, but don't judge. Don't judge. Don't even judge yourself. Don't judge others. Just feel the body moving. Feel the breath coming in. Feel the breath going out. Breathe in. Open your shoulder. Breathe out. Push in. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. In. Out. Back to the standing. Another 1 minute standing meditation. Okay. All right. Breathe in. Breathe out. In, open that shoulder. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. In, follow the hand. Out. Back to standing. This is the last 1 minute standing meditation. So try the best you can. Challenge yourself. See if you can maintain that focus for 1 minute. Okay, this is the last one. Very simple. You stand, you lift up your hand, you take a deep breath, and then you lower your body, you open up your knee, you go all the way down as you breathe out, and then you press forward. Then you bring it back up as you breathe in, and you lean back, and then you relax. Okay, get ready. Second time. Breathe out, breathe in, relax. One last time. Breathe out, breathe in, and relax. Lower your hand, and we walk back and we meditate. We're going to continue with what we started, except that this time it's a little bit easier. We just finished a whole series of breathing exercise using our diaphragm. Diaphragm has a little bit of muscle memory now. So after you sit properly, you open your shoulder, you lean back, you relax, and you focus on your breath. As you breathe in, you notice that your stomach opens because your diaphragm knows what to do now. As you breathe out, you notice that your stomach collapses. So we pick up on the second part, which is that we anchor our mind on the lower back. As we breathe in, we move up to the top of the head. As you breathe out, we come back, lean back, and relax. When we breathe in, we stretch your body upward. When we breathe out, we lean back and relax. Now, I recommend that you do this 15 minutes a day. 15 minutes a day is only 1% of the day. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. So it's hardly any big investment, but the benefit is tremendous. So I encourage you to do this either in the morning or at night. But now I'm going to introduce a slight important concept, which is what we call wandering dragon chasing the pearl. As you practice this, as you maintain mindfulness, as you calibrate your body, stretching when you go up, lean back and relax as you come down, you start to notice some energy flow in your body, rising up as you breathe in, and then coming back down as you breathe out. We call that the pearl. We call your mind the dragon. If you ever watch Dragon Dance, they always put the pearl in front of the dragon. So now, after you practice this for a while, you notice that chi rises on its own. You just follow it. like the dragon following a shiny object. But you keep in mind that this is a wandering dragon, which means that the dragon needs to be free. You don't want to constrain it, which means that as you ride to the top of the head, you imagine that there's a cloud on top of your head. The dragon recognizes that as its ancestor home. So it goes into the cloud above your head. You are completely relaxed. You don't come down right away. You wait until you're out breath. The dragon sees the pearl, comes following the pearl, goes all the way to the stomach. And after you practice this for a while, you notice your head is very cool, as if it's being cooled by the cloud. But at the same time, you feel that your stomach, your lower abdomen is very warm. The dragon sees that too. And he says, "Oh, that's my cave." So you let the dragon rest in the cave. Don't be such a hurry. You just wait until your in breath, the pearl rises, the dragon comes out, rises to the top, goes into the cloud, relax. When you breathe out, the dragon comes back out, goes into the cave, relax. Okay, that's it for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to do a chant, something that I've done in the past that I haven't done in a long time. There's enough ugliness outside that I think that you all deserve this chant. May you all be blessed with health, with happiness, and with peace. Sabe Sata Avaya One, two. Sata One, two. May all beings be free from animosity and negative energy. May all beings be free from mental suffering. May all beings be free from physical suffering. May all beings be full of joy and protected by loving kindness and compassion. Namaste. See you all next week. Bye bye. 星期一見。
咁樣多謝張老師。
多謝大家，多謝大家支持。OK，拜拜。
拜。